Hi everybody and welcome back. This pin fry I have great success with, and it's so simple and cheap to make. Winter and autumn trout love it, because as the flyer life started to die off, except for the hardy aquatic insects, this will be the main source of food for any trout on any water. Fish it on an intermediate 12-inch strips. It's absolutely brilliant, and this is how we make it. So we start off with a size 10 or a size 12 hook and a black thread, quite thick, about 1/40, and wind it down the hook shank to about the mid position and then trim off any excess. What we do now, we tie in some silver tinsel, or in this case a 2mm strip I've cut out the back of a crisp packet. It's red on one side, silver on the other. So I'm tying the silver side in because this is what I'm going to use to wrap around the hook shank. Tie the thread all the way back up to the eye and leave it in that position. Once you're happy, just gently wind in the silver from the base all the way to the eye. Take your time. I know I'm rushing this one, I've speeded it up, otherwise you'll be watching this for 10 minutes. Once you get near the eye, grab your thread again and tie in the silver. Couple of turns of the black thread to hold it all down, whip it off and then cut off the excess. Now the little bit of foil that you've cut off, don't throw it away, because on the other side it's red, or in this case it's red. What we simply do now is tie this near the head of the fly with the red tinsel against the hook, and then once we've secured it in with a few wraps, we're going to wrap the red around the hook towards the eye, and this will cause a little thorax type thing, a little target point. It can be a bit fiddly, take your time though. And then once you've done it, just tie off a few wraps of thread and cut off any excess. You don't necessarily have to use red, you could use white if you wish, or you could use yellow. I've actually done black bodies with a silver wire wrap. Just mix it up, not all fry are the same colour. Once you've whipped it off, I get a lighter and burn off quickly threads that may be hanging on the head, because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get some UV resin on a pin and equally apply it along the shaft of the hook. And once we're happy with that, we're going to hit it with a UV light, and that will then put a hardened coat down the head and the tinsel body. So using an 8/0 strong thread, I'm going to put a few turns in behind the back of the eye. And using a polyfloss, white in colour, about 15 to 20 strands, I'm going to tie that in. Then I'm going to trim off any excess at the front towards the eye, and then I'm going to build up the head, make it nice and fat, because not too long into the future you're going to need to put some eyes on the side of it. Again, another target for the fish to look at. So we tie it all in, nice big head, tie it off. And then we're going to trim the tail. I make it quite long, about 2 hook lengths. Again, if it becomes a bit of a problem, you can always trim it down. Problem is, if you've made it too short, you can't extend it. That's unless you make another fly. To make the eyes, I use Super Gel Rimmel, a nice white hard nail varnish, and using a cocktail stick, I got a small amount on the cocktail stick, and then rotating the fly towards me, I just put one little dab on one side, rotate it, another little dab on the other side, and then I leave it to dry. Once you've left the eyes to dry, because it could take anything 20-30 minutes for this to do so, I've probably made another 2 or 3 bodies. So back to the old UV resin and a pin. What we gently do now, because I don't use a brush, I just gently coat the head, both eyes and the underneath of the head. In case it isn't dry, I don't want to apply too much pressure, that's why I just gently dab it on. And once I'm happy that it's on, any excess that's still on the pin, I just rub on the underneath of the fly on its tummy. And then we hit it with a UV light again, and this will then protect the eyes. Not forever, because brown trout have got little teeth and they will rip it to pieces if they grab hold of it. That's why I make about 10-15 at a time. So that is my little pin fry. Again, I've used it at my local water to great success. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. Another simple fly that you can make at home with really no cost. Catch you all later.